You know the book of Mice and Men? The final scene where George has to put Lenny down? We all love Lenny, but we know there's no path forward for him. Well, that's exactly how I feel about LEGO right now. When I think about LEGO today, I don't picture the happy hours building castles or playing with space police ships in my bedroom. I feel angry. This was the brand I loved more than almost anything as a kid, and now it's gone. And the worst part, I can't even fully blame LEGO. Financially, they've made the correct decisions. Brutally correct. Right now, the company is almost entirely dominated by two things: 18+ display sets and licensed intellectual property. Disney, Nintendo, Marvel, Star Wars, and the like. The original themes that define my childhood: Atlantis, Power Miners, Agents, Pharaoh's Quest, Monster Fighters, and above all, my beloved Bionicle, are echoes from a lost era. You can never truly go back home. Sure, you can buy out every single old set on Bricklink, or grab the occasional nostalgic remake, but you can't be 8 years old again, sitting at a Toys R Us aisle, staring at 30 brand new themes, paralyzed because you can only pick out 1 or 2 boxes a month. Do you get the Turbo Submarine and miss Pharaoh's Quest forever? For me, it was always Castle and Bionicle first. If I managed to complete those waves before the year ended, I would dip into the $20 to $30 sets from Power Miners, Agents, and Space Police. My single biggest LEGO regret to this day is never buying the epic Thunder Driller from Power Miners. It was so iconic to the theme, and something about that big drill, it just drew me in. I wish the kids of today could experience the LEGO I understood in my heart. Don't get me wrong, LEGO is still beloved by millions. It's just a completely different company now. The old focus was on play features, unique pieces, and original multi-year stories. Today, the focus is on accuracy to the source material, and above everything else, minifigures. I loathe what minifigures have become. They were always important, but they were never supposed to be the main event. Now, they have almost completely eclipsed the sets themselves. Watch any modern LEGO review. The conversation is rarely about the build. Rather, it's about how rare or valuable the minifigures are. That shift is the first major failure point. When the minifigure becomes the product, the actual LEGO set turns into dressing. Expensive, plastic, window dressing. Throw in one chase figure and suddenly the community will forgive a terrible build. This is exactly why licensed sets have taken over. It's far easier to generate hype with a screen-accurate Darth Revan or a new Spider-Man suit than it is to design a compelling original vehicle or creature. Licensing also removes the need for storytelling R&D entirely. Everything in Star Wars already exists. LEGO just has to translate how it looks into bricks. Creating something like the Bionicle saga from scratch took years of world building, character design, lore drops, comics, movies, all just to get started. Half a decade of risk. From a pure business standpoint, paying Disney a licensing fee is cheaper and faster than paying writers and artists to invent an entirely new universe. The result? LEGO's original output has been reduced to 3 shrinking islands. Ninjago, which is basically a licensed theme at this point because it has its own TV pipeline, a handful of LEGO City sets, and whatever baby franchise they're trying to grow this year. Dreams, Monkey Kid, Video, Hidden Side, all launched and mostly abandoned. Instead of the old wondrous scattershot approach, 20 themes a year, most of them glorious failures, LEGO is now a focused sniper rifle that makes shareholder sense. However, for those who fell in love with the original LEGO, it has cannibalized the soul of the toy. Then there's the 18+ explosion. My feelings here are genuinely mixed. Adults have always been a part of LEGO's identity. Model team in the 80s, thoroughly modular buildings, sculptures, architecture. Adults were welcome. The difference is that adults are now the primary customer, and adults have adult money. That's how you end up with an $1,000 Death Star playset that becomes one of the best-selling items of the year. No parent on earth is dropping $1,000 on a single toy for an 8-year-old, yet thousands of 30-year-olds will. Look at the recent Star Wars Turbo Tank. $160 for the smallest, flimsiest version ever made. It collapses if you breathe on it wrong. That's because it was never designed to be played with. It was meant to sit on a shelf and look acceptable from 5 feet away. At that point, it stops being a toy and becomes overpriced decor for man-children. There is, however, one bright spot, one place where the old LEGO spirit still breathes. The Creator 3-in-1 line. Majestic pirate ships, medieval castles, haunted mansions, dinosaurs, parrots, pandas, a giant Japanese mecha. These sets feel like spiritual successors to the classic themes I miss. The recent Monster Fighters homage could have been a full wave in 2011, yet Creator can never fully replace a proper theme with factions, lore, and 4 waves a year. There is still no modern power miners, no new Atlantis, no spiritual bionicle successor. But if LEGO doubled the size of Creator, brought back more explicit homages, and actually committed to growing some of these sublines instead of abandoning them, it could be the perfect bridge between the old soul and a sustainable future. Because here's the uncomfortable truth: the current business model cannot last forever. It feels like watching the final lapse of a Ponzi scheme. You can only release so many $500 licensed display models before the average collector either runs out of money or shelf space. The investor class that have fueled LEGO's last decade of growth is finite, and when that bubble pops, LEGO will be the one left holding the bag. LEGO Creator has quietly laid out a viable path forward. Original, system-based, replayable sets that appeal to both kids and adults without requiring a $200 entry fee or a Disney contract. The question is whether LEGO's leadership has the courage to pivot away from the licensed 18-plus cash printer while it's still profitable, or whether they'll ride it straight into the ground. For the first time in my life, I'm not sure LEGO has a George willing to do what's necessary. I hope that I'm wrong.